Oh, way past it. Paul Redmond here for Cage Warriors. We're back in Dublin, which has given us some of the best moments in Irish MMA history. I'm doing the 2 New Year's Eve. That was me.
No, it wasn't.
No, I did it.
Another rolling toe for Paul Redmond.
We're back in Dublin on February 21st for Cage Warriors 200, and it promises to be the biggest event Cage Warriors has ever produced. Follow me and we'll take a look back at some of the greatest moments in Irish MMA history. So first up on the list, it's got to be at the Helix in Dublin at Cage Warriors 51.
Cage Warriors returned to Dublin with a really stacked main card. Conor McGregor looks to be the first man to hold 2 Cage Warriors titles at 2 different unified weight categories as he steps up to lightweight to take on the very, very dangerous Ivan Vuchenich.
Half of Dublin will say they were in the Helix that night, which only holds 1,000. Huge atmosphere, a big fight, big moment for Conor trying to go for the double world champ status. Conor looked great, in and out the way he always did, and very elusive.
Conor looking so settled already.
Did some tricky shots.
Bit of a stern test if, wow.
And then when he got the finish, he looked incredible.
Huge shot!
Wow.
Vuchenich completely out of it! What a spectacular knockout by Conor McGregor as we are bombarded with his fans around the commentary position.
Covered in rather a lot of beer as well, John.
So as soon as Conor got the finish and got that big knockout, the moment went viral of him jumping over the fence and into the crowd of 250,000 that was supposedly there in the Helix. Great night for Irish MMA. There's a lot of wins on the card, and I think within 2 weeks Conor was signed to the big show, and the rest is history.
Conor, the notorious McGregor.
So next up on the list is my gym arch nemesis, James Sheen. He was fighting Daniel Conrad on Cage Warriors 170 right here at the RDS. So after 10 fights with Cage Warriors, James Sheen finally got his title shot. His only losses were to Oban Elliott and to Ian Garry, which we all know what happened to them and where they are at in the UFC. When he fought here, it was one I was commentating on and I was very, very much nervous about. And we weren't expecting an all-out brawl to what Daniel Conrad brought to the fight.
Shots off, a nice right hand from Sheen, and Conrad beckons him on.
It wasn't going all James's way throughout the whole fight.
Yeah, Sheen fell that one, and he goes down.
James is very much bloodied from the head to his toes, and trying to keep composed in that moment is very, very difficult. That's why when he did lock up the head and arm choke and he did get the win, I couldn't contain myself. Headphone gets dropped, mic gets dropped, I'm gone.
I'm excited. Do you know, I'm happy for them. It's a noble team right now. That's my man, James.
James Sheen winning here in Dublin was massive for Irish MMA. It just goes to show you how much the sport and Cage Warriors has grown from all those days and years ago in the Helix to where we've had 1,000 fans or even 250,000, as most people would say they were there, to what we've grown to now. We're going to have 3,500 here for Cage Warriors 200, and I can't wait to see you there. So next on the list is Chris Fields winning the 185 middleweight championship for Cage Warriors. So back in 2012, there was a series of 4-man tournaments in the first match of the tournament. Chris Fields was fighting John Phillips, former UFC guy.
Main event, Chris Fields and John Phillips. Both guys scoring over 20 TKOs. All of their wins have come inside the distance. It's going to be a really, really exciting bout.
I know there's a viral shot of Chris Fields kicking John Phillips in the throat.
Oh! And it's the front kick from Chris Fields.
And I think it went viral at that time. It was pretty cool. But in that fight, Chris lost to John Phillips via guillotine. So Chris was actually knocked out of the tournament. John Phillips, as far as I know, he got injured leading up to the second fight, which is the final for the belt. And Chris stepped in on short notice to take a fight with Pavel Kush.
He seems to be a grappler. I've seen a few of his fights. I've seen him be knocked out in a fight. I think he's going to look to take the fight down.
Chris pieced him up with a lot of shots, and it became clear Pavel couldn't keep the pace that Chris was putting on him.
See, Pavel Kush looks exhausted already. Fields is free to to tee off on him here.
Yeah, he's catching him. Working to the body and to the head.
Yeah, it's not too
Flying
long
knee
left.
up against the fence.
It got to the third round. Pavel initiated a takedown. Chris defended it, and Pavel sort of flops on the floor and refused to get back up through being exhausted. And Mark Goddard waved off the fight, declaring Chris Fields the winner of the tournament and subsequently a 185 champ. So it was cool to see Chris winning his belts when he fought with Cage Warriors at the time many moons ago. But not only that, to go on and have a very successful gym and have very successful fighters, with Omar winning the 155 division and Leon Hill be a part of Cage Warriors 200. So next up on the list we've got Paul Hughes versus Jordan Vuchenich. A second fight to their first previous one that ended in a very, I wouldn't say controversial split decision, but a split decision nonetheless that both fighters thought they won at the time. It was about a year from Paul Hughes winning the belt off Morgan to when they fought again over in London. It was big news back here. Everyone was on the edge of their seat and they knew the fight was happening. I was fortunate enough to call it with Brad over in London, and I just remember walking out and seeing a sea of tricolours, a sea of Irish flags, which I'm always pleased about.
What a moment here in London. One of the most incredible atmospheres I've experienced in 10 years of commentating for Cage Warriors.
From the very get-go, I mean, Jordan had his moments in the fight, but for me, I think every round went to Paul. He just put on a clinic that night. It was a different Paul Hughes than what I'd seen before, and you could see that he spent that year off just getting better, just improving in the gym, and his mindset just leaps and bounds to where it was.
Both these men, though, will be able to look back and say that they were two halves of the biggest rematch in Cage Warriors history, and they did take part in one of the greatest Cage Warriors title fights of all time.
Came away with the win that night, and that's one of my favourite moments from Cage Warriors history. So last up on the list is Neil Seery winning the flyweight championship here against Mikhail Salanda, and it's my personal favourite here in the Helix.
This for the first ever Cage Warriors flyweight world title.
And Neil was already at the top of the Irish UK MMA at the time. He was, he was fighting all the top guys out there, and he never got the recognition that he deserved, in my opinion. By the time he had came to Cage Warriors, he had moved from, I think it was lightweight 155 right down to 125. He was fighting a young up-and-comer, Mikhail Salanda. I think he was top 2 in Europe at the time, and nobody gave Neil a chance. This is it for Neil, it's either make or break. Neither fighter is taking a step back, and it's a hard fight. He said he's never been hit and kicked as much and as hard as Mikhail Salanda has hit him.
Oh, and he pushes off for the armbar. The fence is going to hamper him a little bit here, but he's starting to get the extension.
He's got the extension, he's a
Well,
down.
Neil Seery with the armbar attempt. He's getting his hips through it, Salanda's tapped.
When Mark stepped in, that was it. If you go back, I think me and Andy are jumping around like two schoolgirls, holding, screaming at each other. I think everyone in the Helix felt the same, just because what they knew it meant to Neil. He had been doing it way longer than anyone else in the arena, and way longer than anyone else who had fought that night. And not only did it mean so much to us, it meant that much to him too.
The first CWFC flyweight champion of the world, Neil Seery.
Let us know in the comments what your favourite Irish MMA moment is from Cage Warriors. If you want to witness what we're going to be talking about in the future generations, make sure you're down here for Cage Warriors in the RDS, February 21st, for the biggest event of the year, Cage Warriors 200.